Hey y'all, hey, we are back for another review of Sisters. Today we are on season 6, episode 21, Lose to Win. This is I think we got one more episode after this and we're going to be done with season 6. I think season 7 is already filming. There's already a release date and everything. They probably had it already teed up with the, what do you call it? Not the riots, strikes and things of those sorts, but all that's already been announced. I can't remember it, but it's already available if you want to go look it up. All right. So let's jump into the review. Hayden has already proclaimed that he's now going to be on a one-man mission to take down Fatima and potentially Tamara if it's found that she is trying to, take it for all he got. Gary is more than happy to help him take Fatima down. He's like, let me know whatever you need. I got you. Just, bonded and bush these two. Hayden is somewhat in denial, or he's either in denial or he's not going to let Gary know that he is shaken by the information. Either way, he appears to be in denial when he's talking to Fatima, and he can't believe that Fatima would go that far. Mind you, he's done everything but put a hit out on Fatima. But you just are flabbergasted at the fact that she would just do something so ruthless to you. Don't know why, but whatever. Gary tells him that he better go ahead and start pushing for that annulment with Tamara before it's too late. And Hayden's like, listen, I know you mad at Andy and, Penelope and the issue you got going on with those two women. And I know you need I know you need a new pet project to obsess over, but this ain't that. This ain't it. So much so that he quits being Gary's tax advisor, whatever. He was like, listen, go ahead and get out my yard or whatever it is, but I won't be a tax lawyer no more. Which, okay, cool. I understand, everybody, he's miserable, so Gary kind of wants you to be miserable with him, but you wouldn't have known the information had he did his due diligence to get his private investigator to look up the information on Tamara, because whatever search you did was very feeble. And you're probably just mad because he was able to get the information that you didn't even bother to get. But I'm on neither one of you guys' side because both of y'all are annoying and very dangerous to the women in your lives. Moving right along, he goes in the house and he asks Tamara straight out to her face, listen, do you know Fatima Wilson? And she was like, no. He was like, don't lie to me. She's like, oh, yeah, I do know. Didn't she work at your office? And he was like, whatever. He shows her and tells her the information that Gary and the PI was able to find out about her. And she flips the information and said, Gary didn't want us to be happy. He's really not that great of a person. Blah, blah, blah. All true. All those things can exist and be true. And so he tells her, like, listen, you need to go ahead and sign this annulment paper and go on about your business. Or if we're going to figure this thing out, you're going to do it under the pretense of you signing this doggone post-nuptial agreement. She absolutely refuses. And the only thing that pissed me off about this is she broke very quickly. For you to have been keeping up this facade and this for life for, I guess it's weeks. Let's go with weeks. For you to break the whole character in about 3 minutes pissed me off, girl, because you had kept it up this long. You should have kept it up. Just continue. You've already denied knowing Fatima. You must as well just keep the lie alive. But I guess it really doesn't matter because you don't have to sign the annulment papers and he can't make you. So maybe it's really no, benefit in keeping up the lie anymore. I'm just saying, 20 seconds in, she was like, well, okay, fine, sure. I don't know Fatima, but I'm still going to take you for all you got. She breaks the act and then she tells him, like, listen, I'm going to take half of everything you got, all your money, blah, 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 blah. And she tells him, like, listen, yeah, every bit of it from the moment we met, I made it up. I did all of this on purpose. And he reminds her, listen, you do know I'm a lawyer, right? Like, I can get done what I need to get done. And she reminds him, like, listen, I'm a girl with a lot of resources and I know a handful of lawyers. So, and they all are indebted to me. I know them personally. So which kind of game are we playing? And, again, she still holds on. She still holds true to the fact that she doesn't know Fatima. And I guess we'll give her a hand clap of praise for that, that she's not bringing Fatima into it. However, the private investigator was already able to tie you guys together because there's basically only like 1 degree of separation between you guys. You guys have her cousin in common, so it wouldn't have been that hard to figure out, whatever. Um, Sabrina meets with her boss, you know, the meeting about her getting her job back. And the higher ups agree to let her come back to work. She's talking to Miss India, probably appears to be like one of her mentors. Somebody she's working throughout the years that believed in her innocence the whole time, so she says. However, what we learned is she's gonna go to the downtown location, which is much busier. I'm gonna presume it to be a little bit, you know, a little bit more rugged. And she's also been, I guess, demoted per se down to assistant manager, as opposed to where she was the actual branch manager at the Uptown location. She's going to start on Monday. She's just happy to be back at work, you know, not a big deal. You know, maybe she could work her way back up to manager or whatever. Whatever. And of course, you know, Sabrina is kind enough. She said, okay, so what about Maurice? Like, is he coming as well? Well, they don't plan on bringing Maurice back because he did know Q, right? I mean, yeah, he did. And Q was at his apartment. Well, yeah, he was. And Miss India goes on to tell Sabrina, like, listen, I couldn't convince the higher ups of his innocent, but not only that, he's had negative calls come in and people complain about his antics prior to the incident. And so we're not going to have him back, Sabrina. You know, unfortunately, you could stay with the company, but your best friend, he's not going to be able to come back. And I was pissed at first because I'm like, y'all know the man ain't, like, his personal relationship has nothing to do with the bank robbery. However, Maurice may well just have been on his last strike. Like she said, he has a history of, you know, his sass and his antics and, you know, probably being rude to people, being the drama queen that he is. And this might have just been his last strike. So just go apply to another branch, you know, get a referral from Sabrina and, you know, move along. That's the best advice I could give you, but we'll learn later on in the episode that he wants to go a different direction with this, but we'll talk about it. But the part that did piss me off, it pissed me off thoroughly. Sabrina's like, well, if y'all are telling me that he's not welcome back, when are y'all gonna tell him that he's not welcome back? And Miss India tells Sabrina that the bank and their higher ups, which we know are, you know, white men, we know that, that they're not gonna tell him that he isn't welcome back to work. And Miss India was like, well, good thing you asked about him, and I let you know so that you can tell him. And that tightened my titties. That pissed me off, y'all. I'm sorry. There is a way to do everything. What the church people be saying, decent and in order. I'm a big proponent of that, you know. Not the church aspect, child. But some of the principles apply to daily life. And in this situation, it applies because I understand that, you know, maybe he wasn't best to work with. Maybe he had a little drama antics going on. However, there's a common courtesy that you owe people when you're letting them go. Not that you owe them a reason, explanation, but you owe them the courtesy of letting them know. Right? Like, had he kept up his antics and you had to, you know, had some negative reports or negative surveys type of thing, you would still have to take him to the conference room and let him know, hey, based on A through Z, we are not going to continue this relationship with, you know, as an employee, we're not going to do that. You would have owed him that to let him know that he's no longer back. Not only that, the DA said that he talked to her and he was going to, that the bank was going to talk to them about their jobs. And they didn't even bother to have a conversation with Maurice. And that is annoying and low-key disrespectful in my opinion. Or are y'all afraid, for example, like if Danny got fired, I would hate to be the person that had to tell her we no longer desire your services. You know, are y'all afraid of Maurice and don't want the confrontation that is going to come along with firing him? I understand, but again, you are sitting in this role, Miss India. I don't know if you're the branch manager, the division manager, whatever it is that you are. This is your position. It's like being anybody's supervisor. If they're wrong, if they're right, if they're whatever, it's your job to have the conversation. So unfortunately, and you get to be the scapegoat because, you know, you're the mid-level black woman, and then we got Sabrina, you know, she's a little bit lower than your level, and now she has the task of telling this man that he can't go back to jail, fresh off the heels of his whole life imploding. So, yeah, that had pissed me off. That really pissed me off. But, you know, we're going to move along. Mark's going to be all right. we're gonna move on. All right, so the lawyer shows up to meet Zach and Fatima and lets him know how the meeting went with the judge. They were trying to get an emergency hearing, and he came back to give them the results. It didn't go how they thought because he tells them the meeting didn't go well, and that the judge was unwilling to listen to anything that the lawyer had to say, and he also refused to do anything about it. And the judge's reason for not wanting to do anything about it is because the court doesn't have any proof that Zach is his father, right? And he tells Zach that it's going to be that much more of a difficult process because first they have to do paternity. First they have to get documentation of the abuse, which if y'all go back to my initial review, I told them y'all needed to take that baby to the hospital night one so that stuff could have been documented. But we're here now. This is the battle we got to fight. And so of course, we're going to take this battle into season 7. Now, one thing about this scene that pissed me off is, Judge, I know that this is not that child on paper. We don't know that that's that child's father. However, this is a child that you may or may not have evidence of being abused. At a minimum. It's an emergency hearing, so it's dire. You can remove the child from said situation until something can be worked out. Now, don't get me wrong. I ain't a proponent of just snatching people's kids out of their house all haphazardly. But again, you have 1, 2, 3, at least 4 people. We got Zach, we got Fatima, we got the neighbor, and Karen saw the baby in the grocery store. So you have about 4 people that can attest to the physical state of this child, and which would give you, eyewitness account on his current state until you can hash out what the hell is going on with Heather. But like I said, I ain't a proponent of snatching people's children out of their homes and throwing them into foster care. But what you also have to realize is foster care does not have to be permanent. You know what I mean? Like, okay, we're going to remove the child and we're going to put him with, well, hell, not Heather's mama, because hell, she would still have access to him. A foster home. Also, foster homes ain't the best option either because they be doing a whole lot for that paycheck that come with them churn. But, lesser of the two evils. I'm sorry, y'all. I can't express what I'm trying to say here because in real world, I know that it could be a farce and it's not as simple. But shit, do something. I die trying. That's me. I would die trying to fix the situation. Anyway, for me, I will remove that child and put him in foster care temporarily until we can figure out the paternity, figure out what the hell is going on, and figure out where he needs to go be full time. Like I said, some people have been in foster care before and it's been like a week or 30 days for their parents to, prove to the court that they can sustain this child and all this good stuff. So it doesn't have to be long term, but just something to get him out of this situation until we can figure it out. But we also know, these sisters be failing these kids daily, hourly, minutes, by the minute, by the second. But, yeah, it just pissed me off that you were basically, the lawyer was saying basically like the judge just kind of shut down everything he was saying mid-sentence, didn't want to hear, didn't want to be bothered with it. And for me, like, damn, at least hear me out. I showed up and you showed up, but whatever, a lot of these judges just really think they be the end all be all. And, girl, move on. I'm gonna move on. All right. After that's done, Hayden rolls up on Fatima. Like, he really won't fight about it. He rolls up and he confronts Fatima about Tamara, and Zach and Fatima are sitting there acting dumbfounded. Like, what are you talking about? Like, who? What? I don't know what you're talking about. And so now his can of worms is open and he handed out threats and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that and blah, 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 blah. And Andy walks up in that moment. She's like, well, get away from them. Like, what's the problem? What's the issue this time? And he accuses her of being in on it too. And, of course, he can't prove anything. He doesn't get anywhere in the conversation. And he walks away and Andy's like, well, what the hell? What is going on? Of course, they all know, a little bit about what's going on with Tamara. But Andy does remind them, like, hey, y'all know that this man go hard and he don't really know his limits. So we're going to have to be careful moving forward. Like, this is going to be a problem. Because Hayden, once he gets that thorn in his eye, he going to tear up the world to get it out. So, All right. Karen and Brian, they go to the new location down the street, around the corner, wherever it is. And he also took her to lunch first. So, we up and saying, thank you for taking us to lunch, her and the baby or whatever. He was like, yeah, it's a baby on board. I know you might be, blah, 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 blah. It's Mr. Brian. At first he was giving nice. It's getting weird. It's getting weird. It's getting weird. It's getting weird. Because that's an awful lot of kindness that he's been offering to a stranger. Absolutely. You could have stopped at just giving me the discount on how much it's going to take to fix my place, but you bought me baby clothes, you took me to lunch, you found me an alternate location that's cheaper, and I'm still going to own it. Like, it's just I don't know, but let's talk about it. She sees that the place needs a lot of work, and he claims that it'll be cheaper to fix that place up than to do the repairs at her shop. So again, now remind you, when he first did his estimate, he said that it wasn't going to take much because a lot of the damage was, superficial. Like paint and, maybe a couple of boards replaced. It wasn't a whole lot of structural damage. But now it's going to be cheaper to fix this place up he highly recommends for her to be over there. And so, again, fishy. He knows the owner. Also fishy. She just needs to, and he's also telling her, like, hey, let's go and get this paperwork done. Let's go ahead. Go ahead and get this place boss so you could be a boss or whatever. Like, trying to appeal to her tendencies. Flag, red flag number 10. And he tells her that she reminds him of his mama. She worked 3 jobs. She owned a lot of stuff. She showed them what hard work, and a good work ethic is. Again, so now you're pandering a little bit because obviously you can see that she's a presumed single mother, working, entrepreneur, all this other stuff. So you're going to try to relate to her to make her comfortable enough to sign into this deal, or again, whatever it is that you're trying to get her to do with this building. He also goes as far as to say, hey, I don't know if the dad around or whatever, but if he's not, I can be around if you need. Me and my wife, we could be around if you need help. Like if he needs a father figure. The flag's so red, it's giving 4-alarm fire. Like it's just a lot. You're making presumptions that the father's not around. Karen tries to tell him, like, yeah, the father is around, we good or whatever. I want to meet this wife. Y'all need to hurry up and show me the wife and she's so kind, she's so considerate, and he's giving his wife a lot, considering we ain't even seen the lady yet. He asked her, like, hey, do you have a realtor? Somebody that's going to help broker the deal or whatever. She don't have a realtor. And he offers to recommend one. Sir, everything that about this deal is giving sketchy because your idea, your people, your realtor, your owner, like, I don't know. It's very one-sided and there's some sketchy stuff going on, but I'm sure we will learn about it. But I wouldn't do it if I was you, Sabrina. Not Sabrina, Karen. I wouldn't do it if I was you, Karen, because it's just, it ain't sitting right with me. But we'll see what happens. All right. Sabrina goes to Maurice and she tells him what India said at the meeting. And of course he's taken aback because what? Past that initial shock of realizing, like, okay, I don't have my job. Cuba's still affecting me in my day-to-day life because, just meeting him has this domino effect and I'm still affected by somebody that I no longer associate with. And that's a word by itself, but I'm going to move on. The video's getting long. He realizes that they didn't even have the decency to call him and let him know that he ain't got a job. Same thing I said. Like, come on, like decency, man. Like, thank you for your services. We're gonna give you a nice severance package. Whatever it is, whatever the end needs to look like. An end is fine. You never. Well, I used to be. pretty big on, not burning bridges, but some of them motherfuckers need to be burned. Because you never know. You never know what the block looks like and how hard you have to spin it. So, you want to leave things, not in a mad place. And then he goes on to tell Sabrina, like, listen, you could stay, even though they done demoted you down to assistant manager. You go and do what you need to do, and I'm gonna do what I need to do. By way of me suing them for what he gonna sue them for? I don't know. Basically, I don't know, but basically he said, listen, they can't fire me for my personal life, my personal stuff. And she advises him to just let it go and apply somewhere else and, just move on with your life. Of course, girl, you can't convince Maurice of nothing outside of what he really wants to do, so it don't matter. But she does remind him, like, listen, it don't really matter where you work. I'm going to still be here for you. Like, you're my best friend. And so I'm not going to leave you, hang you out to dry. All right. Eddie and Jordan are in a diner, and they agreed on lunch, right? Pissed me off because they agreed to go to dinner later on the same day. So, sir, you done tied up two meals of my life, and we still early on in this thing, but whatever. They're at a diner, like, somewhere close by the office because she needs to go back. And he, he's picking at her because he's like, well, this is different considering, your aversion to the city bus and, the prissy, bougie type of act that she was given that night. And she tells him that she ain't who he thinks she is and blah, blah, blah. He thanks her for, agreeing to eat lunch with him and whatnot, because of course the night before was really rough. Not only for his sister, but for Andy. Like, Andy's involved as well. Like, her and Penelope have emotional ties to the jackass, unfortunately. And he tells her that his sister is a data analyst, and the way that her brain works is she just needs all the facts. Give me all the facts, lay it out plain, and let her put the pieces back together. And she's like, again, I'm still considering talking to your sister. I haven't decided yet. Like she said, I'm still going through it as well. And that's reasonable. I'm not mad at that. Take your time because, again, you have to heal as well. And like I said, they agreed to dinner later on that evening, even though they just ate a pickle, a burger, or whatever they did at the little diner downstairs. All right. Sabrina calls Danny and tells her about the meeting with Miss India. And Danny tells her that she agreed to go on a date with Tony. Sabrina says that Rich also asked her on a date. And then Danny, while she's on the phone with Sabrina, she gets a picture message from her love, Preston. And he's mad now. Preston is married and she is absolutely speechless. She's speechless. I was really speechless. Because what the hell? What the holy hell? You just left my house yesterday. So, let me get this right. You are pissed and outdone with yourself. And damn near stalked Danny, trailed her to her job because you thought she had met somebody. Well, she did. But you thought that she was intimately involved with somebody else, which was false, right? You had a whole doggone fiance this whole time. Remember, Mindy has been in and out of the proverbial picture this whole season because he has been dangling Mindy over in Danny's head as if she's some consolation if he does not end up with Danny. And so now that you have realized that you're done, Danny's never gonna love you the way that you love her, which Mindy could say the same for you as it relates to your feelings for Danny. But you hop your ass, your Wrangler jeans, back on the plane, back to Chattahoochee or wherever you're from, and you go get hitched to Mindy. Now, I don't even know if you really got hitched or you're just playing dumbass games at this point. I don't know. But I'm over it. I want you done. I don't want you back in season 7. I don't want to see him. Mr. Perry, your production, all your people, I don't want to see him. That's it for me. That's it for me. I'm done. I'm done with the situation because that is just asinine and just a waste of my good energy. Andy gets back from lunch, and Jordan's sister Penelope is sitting in the waiting room outside of her office waiting, and she just could not wait another day, another moment, another minute to talk. Andy is not ready to have the conversation, but she does oblige Penelope. She says, "Hey, let's go talk in another room." And Gary shows up behind them immediately after asking, "Hey, what y'all finna go talk about?" For one, sir, mind your damn business. This is my place of business. What are you doing here? For two, Penelope, you don't force a conversation out nobody that's not ready to have it. She didn't say no outright. She said, "I ain't ready." So now you're going to force me to have the conversation because you showed up at my damn job. And the pregnant woman has gotten up, gotten dressed, and got all the way here. So, I'm sure Andy thought that the least she could do is tell you what it is you need to know. In the previews for next episode, we see that Gary's there for Hayden. He just happens to see them, outside in the lobby. But that's pretty much it for the episode. It was a lot of BS in this episode. It was a lot of BS. I had to get on my soapbox a couple times, but, don't hold it against me. That's why we're here to share our opinions, right? Right. Okay, one more episode in the season. Like I said, season 7 is well on its way. And we're going to keep this going. I'm not as tired of talking about the show as I was at the beginning of the season, but I am glad that it's wrapping up. Let me know what y'all think about the episode. Like, comment, share, subscribe, or whatever it is that you feel like doing, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.